Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is doing good. It is the 13th. I was going to say 14th. It's the 13th of February. It is Thursday, and we are in a heavy week full of news. So obviously yesterday we had news. Let me just quickly go back to yesterday. We had US dollar news. Fed Powell basically testifies. We have core CPI yesterday. So we had quite a lot of news, to be fair. Today again, we've got the same where we've got 2:30 p.m. core PPI, and we've got unemployment claims again. So again, going into this week, sorry, to this day, should I say, heavy news, and of tomorrow as well, heavy news as well in regards to the dollar. So be very, very patient and do not make stupid mistakes just because you want to trade. Make sure that you guys are trading something that you're fully well confident. Don't just trade for the sake of it. That is something I'd highly advise. Just quickly to talk about these. So we obviously got PPI and unemployment claims. So I want you guys to really understand that, what is PPI? Producer Price Index. So if PPI is higher than expected, it signals higher inflation, which could push the Fed to stay hawkish, which obviously is potential rate hikes or keeping rates higher for longer, which then will typically strengthen the US dollar. If PPI is obviously lower than expected, we can expect a weakened US dollar. Unemployment claims, on the other hand, if you focus on unemployment claims, basically it's to do with jobs. So if jobless claims are now lower than expected, it indicates a strong labor market. So with that being said, that means it supports the Fed by keeping rates higher, potentially, strengthening the US dollar. And then obviously if jobless claims are higher than expected, we can expect the opposite where it could weaken the US dollar. So understand, what do we want to look out for going into today with the news events? Well, they're both PPI and also unemployment claims are both hawkish. Then we can basically expect the US dollar to strengthen. If both indicate obviously the opposite, we can expect the US dollar to weaken. If it's a mixed data and we have obviously one hawkish, one not, then obviously the market reaction can be very, very choppy. So just be very aware with today and obviously just news events in general. So going into the daily market outlook, you can see that we're always, as usual, start on the daily time frame. I'm going to clear this and just focus on a blank chart just right now. This one's going to be a little bit different today. I'm not going to go into every single pair and have it a 40-minute. I want to keep it talking about the dollar and maybe just GU and EU, depending on what's going on. But I want to keep it short and simple, and just wait to see how today and the rest of the week plans out. And I feel like next week's going to be a great week for better moves and more technical moves that we can obviously analyze. Looking at currently where we're at, if you look at the daily time frame, what we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The past week almost, we've literally just been sideways. Dollar's not really give us much at all. So again, understand that the dollar is not moving as we would like. So we need to just be patient with any trade setups. If you're looking at your strategy and thinking, what's going on? It's not working. Sometimes it might just be better off just sitting on your hands. Focusing on a trend, you can see that when we created this higher high, we had a pullback here to create a higher low, create a new higher high, higher low, higher high. We pulled down into this area of demand. We then failed to create a new higher high, and we had the market dump off. So as you guys can see, this was our daily higher high. This is our daily lower low. We've come up, taken out this high, and then also mitigated this imbalance that we have on a daily time frame, and also this last candle, which is our daily supply. And then this is where we mitigated, and then the market's moved down. So from that standpoint, that tells me that we could potentially see the dollar obviously carry on downwards. Now, we haven't broken this last daily lower low, but if you look at the markets currently, let's drop down to the 4. What can we see? But what we can see from a 4-hour standpoint is, if you focus on a 4-hour trend from when this area mitigated the daily supply, let's just move this. This area is what mitigated this daily supply candle, and this imbalance, taking out these highs, and then dumped. So if you focus on the 4-hour, what can we see the structure doing? Well, we can see the structure was, of course, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, pulled up, create a higher high, pulled down, higher low. We obviously then pulled up to create this higher high, which was a news event, tapped into this daily supply, and then straight away we dumped away. We failed then. This area failed to then create a new higher high from this day 4-hour demand. We pulled in, had a little reaction, and then we dumped away. So as of right now, as I mentioned yesterday on the daily market outlook, this is our 4-hour lower high. This is our 4-hour lower low. So with the 4-hour, you can see that if this is our 4-hour lower high, this is our 4-hour lower low, the 1 hour has been uptrending, and we've been talking about this 4-hour supply area here. So you can see we've tapped into this 4-hour supply and we've had a nice movement away. So again, the daily and the 4-hour, seem to be now in alignment. The 1 hour was uptrending. Since this move's happened and tapped into the supply, we've had this big institutional candle, which indicates to me that we could now see the 1 hour selling off as well. So we drop down to the 1 hour. What can we focus on? Well, let's just focus on the trend that's happening here. So if you look at what was happening, creating higher highs and higher lows, you can see that we was clearly in, the uptrend, demand was in control. Then when we reached this supply area, the market is dumped away. From here, I would expect the market to then go and create a higher high if it was to carry on. We didn't do that. We failed to do that. We tapped into here and now we've broken this low again. So again, we've had that 1 hour break. So as of right now, the 1 hour is from this lower high to this lower low. So let's focus on here. As you can see, where I've got my 1 hour supply is where I'm wanting to see the lower time frame have a change of trend. So I want to see a lower time frame change of trend on here. Once we can get that, we can be confident that the dollar is going to sell on downwards. So for me, I want to see how we do react on this area. If you want to refine your, obviously, supply area to this, you can do. But for the newest people, I like to make it a little bit bigger on here. And the overall, it's not about can I get a tighter supply zone or demand zone? No, it's about can I see a reaction from the supply area and a change of trend from here. So again, if you look at where we're currently at, I would want to see, as I just said, the lower time frame give us something different. If you look at the market right now, you can see that from here, we've created this. So I would need to see the market either dump, and then that will indicate that this is going to carry on downwards. But as of right now, from a lower time frame standpoint, this demand is in control here. This demand is in control on the 15-minute. So as always, and as I always say, we can expect, if you look at the trend, we expect the market just to carry on from here and carry on upwards until we get, as I said, this change of trend. And that could happen in here, or that could happen here right now. So just keep that in mind and wait for that 15-minute change of trend to happen. So that is it for the dollar. Going over to Euro USD and GBP USD, you can see, if you look at the daily time frame, and we just have a blank, in fact, let's look at this, for instance, and move it like this. Okay. So if we look at this as a blank, canvas, you can see that when we was obviously downtrending, if you look at this, we will talk about this daily supply for quite some time. Now for me, we obviously in this weekly lower high and this weekly lower low. When the area come up to mitigate this supply, taking out these highs and also filling this imbalance, we expect the market, as I've said over and over again, that should be the catapult to go and create this as a lower low. That should be the next leg, as we've got here. That should be the next leg from here to go and create that weekly and daily lower low. Now, we haven't had that. We didn't get that. And as you can see, this candle here, told us a lot about potentially the market retracing back into the market going into an uptrend. Now, focusing on where we're at, we have this is our daily. So let me go back. That was our 4-hour demand. And our daily demand candle is here. This last candle here, and this is where the market came back into. So that was our daily candle, daily demand. We have a 4-hour demand area as well. But you can see we come in. Let me get rid of this because now you can see that. We mitigate the daily and 4-hour demand, and then we have this movement up. Now, focusing on the 4-hour, let's focus on the 4-hour. What can we see? Well, the 4-hour, you can see that right now, we had this area as our 4-hour, sorry, this area, we come up, we then broken this 4-hour lower high, We then obviously had a retracement into this 1 hour demand area, and now we're moving away from here right now. Again, this whole level of demand was in control. This whole pullback was in control from yesterday, which is a 4 hour demand. Remember, as I always say, if you're struggling to understand your supply and demand zones, if you're, let's say, for instance, you're in an uptrend like this, all you're looking for is what is the leg that caused, so what is this whole pullback leg that caused this break structure? If you can't refine it to a lower time frame like this, then sometimes, as I'm showing you guys on here, this pullback could be this whole area here. If you can't refine it to, let's say, a lower time frame, you can focus on just the whole pullback, and that caused the momentum upwards as your demand area. So you can see we come in and then we've shot away from there again. So looking at this right now, that would for me be my 4 hour higher low, sorry. 4 hour higher low, 4 hour higher high. Yesterday we had a perfect reaction. You can see from a 1 hour, when we broke this area, you can see that the market pulled back. It didn't mitigate my 50-minute demand, but we still had that breakaway from here. So what I expect now, because we've had this 1 hour break here, and also a 1 hour break of structure from here, I would now expect the market to retrace in and around this area. So if we let me see, I think it's a 2 hour that looks a little bit more cleaner. Let me just see the 4. No, the 4 hour area. This is my 4 hour demand. I would expect the market, I would like to see the market rebalance this whole area and move away from here. So that is what I would like to see. I'd like to see the market, give us that change of trend and move away. Now, if we don't get a full pullback, because the 1 hour is in that in that supply zone right now, if we don't get the full pullback on this 4 hour, I would like to see just any sort of reaction from here. If we see a 50-minute change of trend, let me just mark this out. Let me see a 50-minute change of trend. So let's say you can see the market is moving down. If you see that 50-minute have a change of trend and it aligns with the US dollar, then of course that will give you confidence in buying this upwards. Understand, let's just go to the 4 a sec. Understand that if we look at it from a Fibonacci standpoint, from this low to this high, you can see the market is around the 50% mark right now. Once we get to the 50% or lower on an uptrend, we're in that discounted area, so the market could just reverse from there. So yeah, let's see how your USD reacts from here. And then GBP USD, you can see, let's focus on the 4 hour. The 4 hour we're in this supply, but if we're looking at the dollar, then of course, let me just get rid of this imbalance right now. If you're looking at the dollar and we're expecting the dollar from a technical standpoint to reverse and sell, then of course we need to play what we can see. 4 hour time frame, higher low here, higher high here. You can see that this is the demand area that we met on yesterday. We then pulled up. Where did we come into? I had it from this 4 hour supply. You guys should have already seen in my Telegram. We had a beautiful trade reaction. So we had this 15-minute break. We pull out down into this 4 hour demand. We see this. We failed to carry on. Market pulled up. We pull back into where this area of demand, and then that's where I took this trade from, which was a 1 to 3. Stop loss at the low, and we caught a 1 to 3. I think it was around there. But anyway, you can see from the 4 hour demand, we had the 50-minute change of trend. This is the entry. That was a trade. From there, going back to today, let's see. So because we mitigated this demand and this imbalance and we're moving away, I want to see the market now potentially come into this area of demand. But I'm also understanding again that it depends on what the dollar's going to do. GU and EU are not looking as clean as we would like. But if the dollar does decide to move away from this supply area, then of course we can expect GU and EU to move away. The 4 hour demand is big, but this last pullback is our 4 hour demand. This whole area is a 4 hour demand. So can we see a lower time frame, shift with the obviously also the dollar, and that will indicate that we can then look for buys in this area. If we do come lower, of course, I'd just like to see the market rebalance this area here. But again, if you look at the Fibonacci from this low to this high, we have tapped in below the 50% mark and also into this big pullback, this daily 4-hour demand area. So yeah, everything revolves around the dollar today and the rest of the week. So this is what I want you guys to focus on. I'm not going to give you guys 100 million pairs today. I want you guys to focus on the dollar and the major pairs just from today's market outlook. Because obviously it has been a heavy week, as we've talked about, and we do have obviously news again tomorrow. So let's see how the market reacts from here. I'm obviously up for the week, so I'm not really focused that much on trading, over trading, should I say. So just being patient is what I am going to wait for. But yeah, other than that, guys, if you have any questions below, feel free to just put it into the comment section and obviously ask them questions. Make sure that you guys are connected with me on every platform. If you go to my bio on YouTube, you'll be able to see that I've got my Instagram in there, and also I've got my Telegram in there. So feel free to add yourself in. But other than that, guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, amazing rest of your Thursday, and we will catch up on the daily market outlook tomorrow. Take care and God bless.